So early good afternoon to all my brothers and sisters in entire Europe, wherever you are. I'm pretty sure you must be preparing for your lunch. We extend a very hearty welcome to all my brothers and sisters in all the European countries, wherever you are. At the same time, it's an early evening in India. It's a 5 p.m., 5 minutes past 5 p.m. We extend a very hearty welcome to all my brothers and sisters in India. And at the same time, 3 hours, 3.5 hours, we are ahead of India. We extend a very hearty welcome to all our friends, brothers, sisters, children, those are in entire Southeast Asia, ASEAN countries, particularly in Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Brunei, and of course, people have also joined us from Bahrain, people have joined us from Abu Dhabi, people have joined us from Dubai, Sharjah, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Afghanistan, and of course, it's a late evening after dinner. I know you must be preparing for your sleep. I won't take much of time, but something very important to discuss with all my friends who committed and promised to me that they are still awake in Australia, New Zealand, and Fiji. We will do it justice, and together we are going to discuss on making education relevant. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that the whole world is facing a challenge at this point of time. We are passing through a difficult time. And at this point of time, children are locked at home. They are not in a position to go to schools, colleges, and institutions. But at the same time, situation is same world over. We got to help out each other. We got to hold hands of each other. We got to empower each other. We got to encourage each other. And at the same time, like doctors, nurses, and our paramedical services, they are warriors. Similar way, our educators in the education fraternity are also warriors in their own way, because they are taking care of children when they are at home with their parents, and they are trying to give them the best possible way, digital way, whatever they can, make it available to them so that they are not deprived of their education. Ladies and gentlemen, from Southeast Asia, from the ASEAN region, this evening, we have got a very esteemed, very distinguished guest under whose dynamic leadership a lot of programs are taking place. You can see him on different dates, different days, in different programs, different webinars, different forums. And more, I hear him. I see his emotional bond with India. And of course, there is always a spiritual bond. There is a couple of other bonds which we have got with each other. We have got Shri DATO Ramesh Kodammal Ji, who's the co-chairman of the ASEAN-India Business Council. We extend him a very hearty welcome this evening. But before it like it happens in the Filmfare Awards, you bring the celebrity on the stage. Before that, the anchor has to give the profile, the background, and you have to tell the whole strategy, what exactly we are doing, and how the winners are there to take the agenda forward. Ladies and gentlemen, this campaign we started on 5th of June. And before 5th of June, we were privileged to have DATO Ramesh Kodammal Ji on 20th of May to share his vision of ASEAN-India. And that gave us the encouragement, impetus, and a platform and a strategy how to take India and ASEAN further together. This evening, I just wish to share a couple of slides with you so that my brothers and sisters, those are watching us in entire ASEAN region and rest of the world, wherever you are, and of course, my fellow countrymen here in India, let's share a couple of thoughts, how we have taken the baby steps, humble steps, right from the 5th of June and where we are today, and how this journey is proceeding further. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our chamber, ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, since 1994, it is working, and I'm privileged that from the Southeast Asia, we had Karan Singh Thakralji as our president from Singapore, who was heading this particular chamber when it was known as International Punjabi Chamber for Service Industry. And now at present, we have got from Bangkok, from Thailand, Pontrip Narula Ji, who is at present with us. This particular chamber whole strategy is how the non-resident Indians, those who have gone world over, how can they be a partner in the process of global development, and at the same time, India's FDI, FII, knowledge richness, innovation, research, collaboration, whatever partnership can be done globally, that is the effort. And our chamber exclusively focuses on services sector. We all know that economy has got three parts. We have got agriculture, we have got manufacturing, and we have got services. So services export empowerment is one of the focus and the main focus of our chamber. But at the same time, the manufacturing sector as well as agriculture sector, they also need services inputs, because there is no profession, there is no way that without services we can survive anywhere. This evening we are privileged. We have got DATO Ramesh Kodammal Ji, who is the chairman of the ASEAN-India Business Council Malaysian chapter and the co-chairman of the ASEAN-India Business Council, that's known as AIBC. He is currently a council member for the Malaysian Associated Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry since 2013. He is also the member of the Malaysian National Committee for Pacific Economic Cooperation. DATO Ramesh Ji is the chairman of the Goltex Group of Companies, founded in way back 1973, specializing in imports and exports of the garments, textiles, as well as manufacturing of home furnishing. DATO Ramesh Ji, he is actively promoting and he promotes the interest of the business community between ASEAN, India, and he has also been deeply involved in the visits by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi Ji, to Malaysia as part of this initiative. He participates in the various international forums and seminars representing and has been dynamically involved with various chambers of commerce, industry, and NGO. This evening, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of International Chamber for Service Industry, we extend a very hearty welcome, and from the depth of bottom of my heart, as a Director General of the Chamber, we extend him a very, very hearty welcome. Before I get my distinguished guest on the stage to share with all of us, let me flip through few slides so that we are on the common frequency. What is the objective? What is the purpose? Why are we together this evening? And what do we wish to achieve? Ladies and gentlemen, due to the COVID-19, the UNESCO statistics are that approximately 850 million children and youth, roughly half of the world's students' population, they are at present away from school, colleges, and universities. That is the kind of a global situation. But at the same time, what is the purpose of education? Why do we study one particular subject? Why somebody is in art, commerce, business, non-medical, medical? Why do we choose? As far as India is concerned, we always believe in a philosophy, Vasudev Kutumbakam. That means our Sanskriti, our heritage, our culture, our social values, our norms, they always get a priority above the economic parameters. That means the wish of every parent that my child should start earning, should do some kind of a job, whether self-employment or working for somebody. And the last is the personal purpose. Every child has got a right to ask this question: why do I study this particular subject? Why do I acquire this particular skill? So there is a purpose of education which we have to take into consideration. In India, during this lockdown, COVID-19, and world over, wherever people are, everybody is trying to use technology the best possible way to impart education to their children, their youth, their students. TV channels are used, community radios are used, mobile phones are used, electronic gadgets are being used, and all that is being taken into consideration. But at the same time, this slide is one of the most important slides. When I discussed with a lot of counselors, educators, psychiatrists world over, it is a mind-blowing slide which we have to understand. It is a crux of the whole education system. There are two triangles. One triangle is resting very well, and one triangle is struggling and facing a lot of difficulty, because can you make the sharp edge and the sharp portion rest somewhere when there is a pressure from the educators and parents. Why your marks are less? Why you're not scoring good percentage? Why you're not getting gold medal? Why you're not getting into medical? Why you're not getting into engineering? So much of pressure. Don't we realize sometime? And when I talk to psychologists in education and counselors, they tell me what's lost when we rush the kids through childhood. We don't allow them to enjoy their bachpan, their childhood. Ladies and gentlemen, let's reverse the triangle. Parents and educators, we respect you, we salute you, we bow our head before you. You're very wise, you're worthy, you're doing a lot for the humanity. At the same time, we would request you, please try and try and understand that the millennials at present, those are born. They're born with the gadgets. They're born with technology. Their environment is altogether different than in which we were born. If today, if I don't understand the psyche and the psychology of the child, children would not like to. One of the surveys, very alarming, which we took, when we carried out a survey, we found that 90% kids, after 12th standard finishing their school, they are not interested to stay in the same city with their parents where they are at present. They want to get away. They want to go out. And why they want to go out? Have you ever tried? When you reverse the triangle, what does today's youth want? What are they looking forward to? What are their aspirations? What are their feelings? What do they think about it? So we got to understand. And I got to take it in a very positive way that my son and my daughter, they are my teachers today. Because I learn so much from them. If I have any technical difficulty, I always ask my son. If I have to discuss about anything onto the new strategies, innovations, gamification in education, music therapy in education. Fortunately, this evening, our distinguished guest who is going to address and who's going to share the thoughts with us, he is very fond of music. And let me share with you, when I discussed with the psychiatrist and psychologist and the counselors, everybody told me, anybody who enjoys music, music therapy should be the integral part of education system. Because anybody who enjoys music, there is a dopamine which comes in your system. And if it is a positive dopamine, that is going to do wonders for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we started this humble journey, Aiye Shiksha Ko Prasangik Banaye. Different stakeholders we took, and we started Monday to Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Throughout the world, people join us from Canada. People join early morning when they're going for jogging in USA, in Latin American countries. By the time it is afternoon in Europe, they all join us. And many a time people from Southeast Asia, although it's a little late for them, but they are awake, they join the program. My deep gratitude and thanks to all of them wherever they are. Naresh ji, the president in Myanmar, Majumdar Saab, president in Cambodia, and Mohan Gunti ji, once again in Cambodia, then Sharaf Saab in Philippines. All these people, and of course, Karan Singh Thakral ji, one of the Adarniya, because who had been our president earlier, and then of course, my present president, Professor Pontrip Narula ji, once again from Thailand. I'm thankful to you people. It becomes a little late for you, but still you are awake and you're a part of this particular program. That gives us a lot of encouragement that yes, we have got people across the world. Those are joining hands with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we have started a beautiful journey since yesterday because every time new pedagogies are coming, new innovations are coming, new combinations and collaborations are coming. There is Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya ji. He's a Secretary General, International Buddhist Confederation. He yesterday discussed with us what is the relevance of Buddha's teaching in today's education. What exactly is the Buddhist philosophy? And a couple of things which got unveiled yesterday. It was a great learning from him yesterday when we picked up the threads and all. And he is bringing panelists from entire world, particularly from Southeast Asia, and of course, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, South Korea, Japan, and Taiwan, and a couple of other countries. People will be joining us. The Buddhism fraternity, my monk friends, and my Bhantes. They are joining us from the world over. My deep regards and salutation to all of you. And we look forward to many more such programs every Saturday in the morning from 9:30 to 11 o'clock. They will be with us. We'll be talking about Buddhist philosophy. Monday to Friday on education, and Saturday, like yesterday evening, you had 5 legends. You had 5 celebrities yesterday evening, and they were talking about wellness, yoga, meditation, naturopathy, nutrition, organic food. Think positive, live positive, talk positive, walk positive, and behave positive. Life will be beautiful. We can overcome this COVID-19, and we will build up a system and immunity that, of course, I do not know when the vaccine will come and who is going to get the first vaccine we don't have. So every Saturday, we bring a wonderful wellness therapy for you, health, happiness, humor, and holistic healing. I know there are a lot of people, those are joining us. There's a president of Thailand Wellness Association. I'm so grateful to Professor Saab over there. At the same time, there are many other experts of the wellness world over. So every Saturday, 7 to 8 p.m., we have got beautiful musical wellness therapy where you have got Ayurveda for the global wellness. And a lot of things are coming from the Ministry of Ayush as well in this particular direction. Every Sunday morning, you have got 18 chapters of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. This morning, we covered first 3 chapters. So from 28th, that means this morning till 8th of August, because we are closing the first part of the series on 15th of August, India's Independence Day. So there is going to be a series of 7 talks. And during 6 talks, we'll be covering 18 chapters. And on the last, that is the 7th talk, which will come, it will be an open platform from the world over when we are going to have together deliberations on living a meaningful life, Srimad Bhagavad Gita in today's education. What's the relevance of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in today's education system? So Professor Satyendra Devan from the Woodbury University, Burbank, California, USA, he was here this morning with us. Next Sunday, again, he'll be with us. Ladies and gentlemen, why did we start this program on 5th of June? Because World Environment Day, the more and more I'm reading, the more and more I'm studying, I am learning that the next crisis world is going to face, that's going to be the water crisis. There is going to be a lot of misunderstanding and lot of difficulties world over if we do not save water. Every drop of water is very important. So thereby, at present, children are at their respective homes with their parents. Please, every drop of the water to be saved at your home. When the school gets reopened, colleges get reopened, universities get reopened, I would request all the education fraternity, we got to give the best to our children so that we got to save every drop of water. When our official works, our shopping complexes, malls, theaters, and other public places will open up, we got to save the water there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Jal Sanrakshan, water saving is very, very important. And we have also requested Ministry of HRD, Government of India. We wrote a letter to the Honorable Minister for HRD, Dr. Ramesh Kodammal Ji, that as a part of vocational education, like we have got tourism, hospitality, airlines, fashion designing, why not water conservation, saving water, and particularly understanding our biosphere and complete ecosystem, because every place has got a carrying capacity. So core zones, buffer zones, and other zones got to be understood. That is the way we have taken care of. Now, last 2.5 months, all my brothers and sisters, those are world over, our advisory board teams, our research scholars, my presidents in the different countries, they have sent across their information, and which we synthesized and we put together. And finally, this triangle has come out that B2B will be no more business to business. It will be termed as back to basics of life. Ladies and gentlemen, food processing, agriculture, animal husbandry, organic farming, how to utilize your kitchen garden, your rooftop, each and every area in your residential that is to be utilized for growing vegetables. At the same time, second part of the triangle is your health, herbal happiness, your physical and mental happiness. A lot of people are going to have mental problems when people will come out after this lockdown COVID-19. So stay mentally fit. That's something is very important. If you're mentally weak, you will have lots of difficulties. Third part, education will never get back to that pedagogy what you had in month of January. And classrooms, you have come to digital part. Please understand the digital part is going to become the norm of normal, because digital education is going to get so much into system. All the platforms, whatever is being used by the technology, they were to come after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. They have come little before because of this coronavirus, but they were to come. Technology is going to play a very important role. Artificial intelligence, augment reality, and a couple of other things which you have to take into consideration. All that is very important. But yes, the model is sustainable development. The whole world has to be getting back to the basics. So ladies and gentlemen, this is my last slide, which I wish to share with all of you. And this is very important, which I want to basically discuss with each one of you. I personally feel it's a philosophy of my life also. And each one of us, if you make this as your philosophy, you're going to have a wonderful life. God has given us wisdom. God has given us knowledge. God has given us opportunity. God has given us a chance to live peacefully wherever we are, when we are not over aspiring, but at the same time, Vasudev Kutumbakam, when we talk about this human mind, it can think negative also and positive also. Whenever you think positive, you'll think about peace, you'll think about harmony, you'll think about solutions, you'll think about innovation, you'll think about how the world can be one family and all of us, we can enjoy peacefully. No need of any fight, no need of any war, no need of misunderstanding, no need of telling lies, myth, whatever is there. So ladies and gentlemen, the message of our entire campaign when we are talking about making education relevant is whatever human mind can conceive and believe. I underline and I repeat, whatever human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. It's very, very important. You got to understand, the day you get convinced you can achieve, nobody can stop you. You will achieve whatever you want to achieve. Let's come together for global education empowerment. International Chamber for Service Industry extends you a very warm welcome. All of us together. You want to come as a panelist? This evening, I have requested my distinguished guest, and he is getting me the guests, and he is getting me the panelists. He is getting me of innovative speakers, powerful speakers from the entire Southeast Asia. Those of you who are interested to be a part of this process, to be a part of this journey, to be a part of this particular confluence of global educators and motivators, we extend you a very warm welcome. Please come, send us your biodata, your CV, your suggestions at innovation@ICSI.Asia. You can also ring up, you can send a WhatsApp. Both the number for the WhatsApp are given. +91, you got to add a prefix if you're calling from outside. And if you send your details to us, I'm pretty sure we can share lots of ideas with each other. So ladies and gentlemen, like it happens in the Filmfare Awards, and like it happens calling these celebrities, like it's calling the people, those share the wisdom, the knowledge, and whatsoever they have got in their reservoir. I extend a very hearty welcome this evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we invite DATO Ramesh Kodammal Ji from Malaysia to share his vision, how to empower and how to make education relevant with the help of entire ASEAN and Southeast Asia. DATO Ramesh Kodammal Ji.
Thank you, Dr. Gulshan Sharma Ji. First of all, I must thank you once again for taking the effort to create this journey of education platform. Because what I see, I've attended many forums, I have attended many events, but to take a 2-month journey is a long process. And every day with something new, something innovative, with wonderful speakers, getting participants from all around the world, it's actually an achievement. I hope you will write to the Guinness Book for your event. They might accept it because I've not seen someone doing it for 60 days, day and night, focusing on one topic, getting people from all around the world to move on. Before I move on, I would also like to thank all the participants from all around the world who are present here today for joining us. Because it is not only learning, it is also sharing. While we share, we benefit. Because it's a normal saying, the more you divide, the more it'll multiply. You divide knowledge, knowledge multiplies. You divide wealth, wealth multiplies. You divide friendship, friendship multiplies. So I think for the next 60 days, what my dear friend, Mr. Gulshan Sharma has been doing is he's trying to multiply everything into a different level, which is going to take us to a different phase. Before I start up, I must quote one thing. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare it today. Because if you don't prepare yourself today, you are not going to see the benefit for your own self tomorrow. So education is something which eliminates poverty. Education has got so many wonderful things, ingredients for someone to progress in life. We see people hunting to be educated. We feel people learning that I want a doctorate degree. I want to be a qualified lawyer. I want to be a doctor. The eagerness of a human mind is in search for education. And while the search is there for education, we should see that education is shared by everyone around the world. Those who can afford it, those who cannot afford it, whatever situation they are in, we must see that the platform is available to them. It is not easy for people at some time in their life. Families cannot afford their children to be educated. That is where our two hands must be there to find ways and means to say, no, education is always available to all those who need it. That's why we have come up today with technology. Technology is something which we did not expect 20 years ago. Today, you don't have to go to school to study. You can study on the net. You can do your exams on the net. So things are changing. Education has become more simpler. It is very meaningful to all of us. Having said that, I am from the ASEAN side of it, where we are the neighbors of India with a population of more than 650 million. That means we balance the population with India, we are half of India's population. So I think there is a lot to learn from each other. The younger generation has got a great opportunity because in the early days, we did not realize that countries are so nearby, the borders are so close. Today, we feel that it is so easy for someone from India or ASEAN to move in and out of these areas. So basically, we are in the same area just by borders. From the northeast of India, you can just drive across to Thailand or Myanmar. So that means we are within the same zone. So what do? How do we actually benefit the coming generation? I always say, benefit the coming generation. Because the coming generation is the generation is going to look forward to what we leave for them. It is not that what they are going to do. It is what we are going to do for them, guide them, tell them that come, move forward. and take this agenda through. And this is where I think Gulshan Ji is playing a very important role to really find ways and means to work forward and see how we can collaborate together with ASEAN and India to take this agenda in education forward. Education is very interesting. When you talk of education, I was actually yesterday hearing to the speaker who was speaking on Buddhism and how even on a religious platform, a person can be educated. You don't have to have a degree in chemistry or engineering, but you can have your whole mindset by just learning something on the religious platform. Today, we have always said the Bhagavad Gita, a book with 720 verses, 18 chapters, where the dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjuna is there. It's such a wonderful novel that if you just pick out one verse from it and practice on it, you can educate yourself. But how do we do that? We must pass this knowledge to the coming generation. In ASEAN, 3 countries, Malaysia, Singapore, and Brunei, were under the British rule. So we come under the Commonwealth countries. And India also came under the Commonwealth. So our language, basically English, is common. Commonwealth law is there. And you'll be surprised that a lot of education platforms under the Commonwealth Agreement are very common. And that's why you can see lawyers, doctors practicing in Malaysia, Singapore, and Brunei from India. But many of us can explore to find out what we can do, but this has not been done. I would like to suggest to Dr. Gulshan here that let's form an ASEAN-India education platform where we can constructively work together to see how it will benefit us. Why is education in India expensive? Even from students coming from ASEAN, if they want to take up a medicine degree, it's expensive. So how do we actually work together, having a platform to see that how we can reduce this cost and get more people educated? India has got a very good education system. India is good in medical, pharmaceutical, engineering. India has got a lot of areas to offer to ASEAN. And ASEAN is willing to accept it because we know it is workable. Why do we travel to US or to UK for the studies when we can do it at our neighboring place? And so with India, you have got wonderful universities, best universities in the world in Singapore, in Malaysia. So why can't we look into the possibility of our youngsters moving to their neighboring areas? Today, if your child is studying in US and with the COVID-19, you'll be worried what to do. But if he's in Singapore or Malaysia, you'll have a lot of relatives and it's so easy to move forward if anything happens. So I think that ASEAN and India have got an opportunity to work together to come up with things. If we can just sit down, draft out a program on the ASEAN-India education policies, working out with India and the government of ASEAN, it should be a win-win situation for both sides, which will help parents to educate their children in their neighboring countries. If we can work on that, that will be a great achievement. Because education is something some are fortunate that they start at a very young age because their parents can afford. There are some who are a little unfortunate. They don't have the real resources to move forward. And this is another group which I personally always feel that a helping hand should be given. You have so many foundations set up in the world to help children to be educated. But we must link with situations to see whether we can gather them together and work towards it to help them. A lot of foundations are there in Malaysia, in Singapore, in ASEAN. Students are needy. We can work together to see how they will benefit from it. My dear brother Gulshan's theory of music is fantastic, because when I see him, he will send me some wonderful songs. And I too do exchange with him some songs. But the idea is not only hearing the song, is having the feeling that you can send someone a song in the morning and his day is made. It lights up your day. These are small things, but they are important in life. You never know when it's an idle mind needing something. You never know that. A 1-minute message, a 3-minute song, a 5-minute chat on the WhatsApp can change the person's day. That is what is called moving towards friendship and sharing. It is not only just reading your books and telling that I have got knowledge.
Sir, somebody is requesting, please repeat this. Somebody is requesting. Somebody is requesting. Repeat, sir.
No problem. What I'm trying to say is, whether it's a message, whether it's a song, whether it's a 5-minute chat, can create a difference on the opposite side person's life. You never know in which state will the person be. We all say we are educated. We have gone to university. We have been studying. We are economic graduates. But when it comes to a situation today like COVID, nothing helps. What helps is if Mr. Gulshan sings a song to me and tells me I'm fine, I say the day is made. Because even though with all the problems around, you see people who are in their normal state of mind. So that educates you that you are in the wrong level, bring back yourself to the right level. So education has got different ways and one looks at it. So I would like to wish that all of you who are hearing, education is basic. I'm not shy to confess that I had a challenging youth. I had to leave school at a very young age, but I never gave up education because I thought even when I leave, I can still learn. So education is a platform. It's a book which is there. You can open any page, anytime when you need it. But you must know what chapter you want to look at. Book will have all the pages. So if you think you want to go in page 100, just turn it to page 100 and move from there again, carry on. And if you leave it at page 150, just drop it. And you can go back again at page 160 next time. So education is the journey of life where you have a wonderful ride. You meet friends, you meet challenges. Failures in education are never a problem. If someone says, I failed my exam, that is the least he is to be worried. That means he is only looking at a paper education. He is not looking at a mental set. paper education deceives everyone. But a journey for education to strengthen your mindset is totally different. So I think we must teach the youth at this level to move forward. Yesterday, a person who is a banker today might be unemployed because of the COVID crisis. He must be prepared. A person who was an engineer is becoming an accountant. So what does education prove? We need education that we can pick up anything at any time and move forward. We must have a paper to say we have got a degree. That's a ticket to enter the theater. And how you watch the movie and how you get something from the movie is your choice. So I personally feel that this is a very interesting topic, education, and many of us will always feel that, oh, education means you must be a doctor, you must be a lawyer, you must be an engineer. That's not education. Education is how you build yourself up with basic knowledge, with some paper qualification to prove yourself for employment if you need. Because when you go for a job, your boss will tell you, can I see your certificate? You show him. The certificate, when you show him, you won't be using what you learned in your university at a job. So I think let's look education in a different perspective now. I don't think that we should have, like Mr. Gulshan always emphasize, don't force your children to do what you want them to do, because they will only do it for your sake. They are not going to do it for their sake. And if they don't do it for their sake, one point in their life, they will just tell you, it is because of you, I did it, I'm not interested. And when that happens in your life, you will feel very hurt. Even your son is there, I didn't want to do this. So I think let's understand the principles of education and how to educate our children, how to advise the youth, and how to develop our friendship, taking this agenda forward. It's a very sensitive subject, education, because I know of one of my friends who is in India. I will share a story with a banker. And he pressed his son from a very young age, always asking him to get the best results in school. And 2 years ago, I went to see him in his hometown. His son was like totally mentally out. So I asked him what happened. He said, he took me for a drink, for a coffee, and said, it's my fault why the boy is like that. Because I forced him to study and I never give him space in his life for whatever other reasons. And today he's confused. I'm feeling sorry for myself. And that can happen to all of us. So we should understand that. And we should educate our children. We should play the role of educators. We should also play the role of consultants in education level to see how happiness can be got in education. And this journey which is going through with Mr. Gulshan, I will join him, and I promised him that we will get some good speakers who are professionals in the field of education from the various countries of ASEAN, who will be panel speakers relating more on what actually and how we can link together at different levels to take this agenda forward. I think I've spoken quite a lot, and I'm willing to take any question, my dear friend, Mr. Gulshan, if he asks me, I would be able to share with you, because I feel that there's only one thing in our life which is different from us and the animal kingdom, which God has given us. The difference is intellect. We human beings have got the intellect, and this intellect must be used in the right direction. We must use it for the benefit of mankind. That is why we have it and the animal kingdom doesn't have it. So if we can progress and educate everyone along the line, that would be the greatest happiness of mankind. Thank you. With that, I thank you all for giving me the time and listening to me. I hope that I have passed the message, which will please some of you, and you all will just look at it and think about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So well said. Each and every word of yours, what you have mentioned, it was so appropriate. It was so much of concern. And so far, because I come from the tourism background, and at present tourism is in a little bad shape because of the corona, because tourism is related to hotel industry is related to airline industry. So all three of them, they are suffering quite a bit. I used to always study education, tourism is a passport to peace. But today you gave me a new definition. Education is a passport to future. I'm going to endorse it and I'm going to write it. Education is a passport to future. And you also made a very, very valid point that education eliminates poverty. That something is again very important which you gave. And of course, besides that, how we work together, how we make education affordable, engineering, medical, couple of other areas which you told, India and ASEAN working together. And it's a great privilege and it's coming from you. It means a lot to me. It's a great input to me this evening that ASEAN-India education policy, our chamber will immediately start working onto it. And I commit to you, before we close this series on 15th of August, as Independence Day of India, we will give a gift to you, and that would be a draft policy and a draft outlines which coming as an action plan between ASEAN and India. What could we do in terms of research, collaboration, students, faculty, counselors, and other things, what can take place. Also, when you have told that education is a platform, and the example which you have given, sir, it's a book, it's an open book, you can open any page, any point of time. And the best example which you gave, that when you go to a movie theater, it's you what you bring from that movie, what you have seen inside and what you pick up from there. That's something is great what you have given. So paper education, it deceived everyone. If only it's a paper education, paper tigers. It has to be more realistic. It has to be relevant to day-to-day life. And the series what we have started, that's basically making education relevant. Now, you would be happy to know, sir, that Bhante, the monk, Secretary General, International Buddhist Confederation, Venerable Dhammapiyaji, he is listening to you and he has joined this particular webinar and he is so happy. He sends a WhatsApp to me that could you please request Dato Ji that can we have one of the panel discussion coming from Southeast Asia when this pandemic is there and all that, other part of tourism are going to suffer. But for the pilgrimage, can we work out something between ASEAN and India from Southeast Asia?
Sure, I think we can definitely work out. I've always believed in one thing. Whenever there are problems in life, more people go to the temple, churches, and mosques. Pilgrimage will improve during problem time because everyone believes in God. They feel that there's something that they want to go and request to the Almighty for help. I think pilgrimage in India is something which is great, and especially the Buddhist pilgrimage is something which we can always focus from ASEAN. We have got about 500 million Buddhists in this area in ASEAN. Japan, Korea, ASEAN, I think it's a huge number. So whenever we speak of something, what is more important here is that how do we plan it? How do we project it? And how do we work towards it? Many of us do discuss that we would like to do this, but there is no planning. Planning is the most important thing. If we need to take Buddhism tourists to India, we should plan how to do it. Target every ASEAN country, what we can do. Get them associated from those areas and work with them. And I'm sure we will be able to achieve. The human mind always has been saying, everyone has been saying this. If you plan, if you target, you will have a positive vision. But if you don't do it, you just go on ad hoc basis, we'll be lost. So I think let's plan it and move forward.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. I was just posting a thanks to people are joining us from Assam and other places of Northeast, because you made a mention of Northeast in between. Would you like to give any message to my people in Northeast part of India? Anything would you like
I
to
always
convey?
have a special feeling and love for Northeast. I frequented the place quite often. I personally feel that in Northeast, there's a great opportunity always, but somehow or the other, we have to make things work. I have been to Manipur, I've been to Assam, I've been to Arunachal, I've been to all the places. I think it's a fantastic place, Northeast. But what do we do? Can we just, Mr. Gulshan, since you are linked with Northeast, can you just plan out 2 or 3 programs for Northeast and focus and work on them? But when you start speaking what you want to do, nothing happens. I think in Northeast, if you have one of the world's best flower park, it's going to be a fantastic thing. People love to see such things. But can someone undertake to do it? Tourism in Northeast, can we focus that within the next 3 years or 4 years, we will have about 20 budget hotels coming in? We don't want 5-star hotels. Budget hotels are good enough. Can we get some investors from ASEAN, from Thailand, from Myanmar to set up small hotels where they can also link with their own people to bring tours to Northeast? Northeast has got so much wonderful things. Their handicraft are wonderful. Their service sector is wonderful. Let's look into things, but come up with a plan.
Wonderful, sir. Well taken. Well taken. There are 2 questions which have come, but they are universally applicable. There's a lady, Anita ji, who has asked, you are very right in saying that children should be given space and freedom to listen to their inner drumbeat. But problem is that when parents are able to, by the time parents are able to understand the damage is always done, they have imposed so much of their own wish on the children. Would you like to suggest anything to the parents?
Yeah, I agree with what she said. Due respect, because when the children start doing things, first thing is we don't agree with them. And then we tell them, no, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. By the time we take a journey of telling them don't do it, the journey has already crossed the bar. And they get fed up of it. So I think the idea here is we should link ourselves as parents with our children more closely from the very start. If you are every day with your child for 2 hours or 3 hours, they might be able to share the problem with you. They might be able to talk to you. But you have got a distance from them. And then when you see them doing something, you start looking at it negatively, the time is lost. So my advice to all parents is, link with your children from the early days of their life and spend time. You must be committed to spend time with the children. If we are not committed, spending some time with our children, don't expect them to listen to what we have to say. Then you have to listen to what they have to say, because you have not given in. So if you give in, you can take it out from them. But if you don't give in, don't expect them to say that I will listen to you. That's my advice. Let's start it from the very beginning, groom them up in such manner.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. There's a gentleman called Mr. P.S. Rathod. He came on Friday evening as one of the motivational speakers, and you would be happy to know, to view him, almost 26,000 youngsters joined that particular thing, his motivational talk as a part of our program, because he does a fire walk. He has done the neuro-linguistic programming, NLP program, and he makes you mentally feel so strong that human beings can do anything on this planet if they do with zeal, enthusiasm, dedication, and determination. So he has also joined your program, and he is sending his best wishes, and he says, I would like to do a similar program for Malaysia and ASEAN as well.
No problem. Most welcome. I am a positive thinker, and I've always felt the same. I think it is how you train your mind to take positive attitude. Thank you very much. We'll always be able to work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And with these words, let's have the final one word for the younger generation, for the teachers you have mentioned, for the education system you have mentioned and all. Before we close this particular session, let's give one encouraging note from your side. Although you have already pepped them and you have told them that, look, parents, don't disturb your children, devote time with them, listen to them, don't compel them, don't press them hard on your wishes. Younger generation is very happy with you on my all WhatsApps. Any final word as a finale before we close this session today, sir? What would you like to tell the younger generation, particularly our children from different age groups? Those are presently at home. They are not with the peer groups. They are far away from the schools, colleges, and that environment, and they're logged in. So what message would you like to give finally to the children before we close down this session today?
To all the children who are locked down today, I hope that you're taking care of yourselves, because all of us are actually very fortunate. The reason is, none of us have experienced such a situation. Actually, when you experience something, that is a learning process. So the learning process, what you are going through, is something which is going to make you stronger in your mind. I would just like to remind all the children who are down there, whatever you do in life, you have to only look at one thing: how it is going to affect your life. If you are going to do something wrong, it's going to affect you. You cannot escape from it. If you are going to do something right, it is going to affect you, and you'll get the benefit of it. So that you are destined to achieve what you want by your own doings. Just be careful in what you do, with whom you mix, with what you are doing in your life. Don't get carried away. Your growing is not being carried away for luxury or entertainment or whatever it is. Your purpose of life is achieving something. To achieve something, you have to be tolerant. My dear friends who are there, the youngsters, please be tolerant. Do not go out of your way to do something which is not necessary, because your parents who are taking care of you have got a lot of hope in you. And this hope you are to fulfill. And I hope you all will do that. I wish you all the best during the lockdown. Don't be worried. This is nothing wrong. It's a learning process, and we'll come out of this. And once we come out of this, after 30 years, when you have your children, you will be talking to them. You know, during COVID time, this happened, that happened. I was doing this, I was doing. You'll be proud of yourself. So not to worry, my dear friends.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful. Nothing could have been a better sermon from your side this evening. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we close the session today, I wish to share with all of you that every Sunday evening, 5 to 6:30 p.m., I repeat, every Sunday evening, 5 to 6:30 p.m., you'll have a special session, ASEAN-India education partnership, where we are going to have a panel discussion. From next Sunday, you will have 3 panelists coming, and we will be moderating the discussions, how to have joint research, innovation, student exchange, faculty exchange, joint programs, what all is to be done together. So 5th of July, 12th of July, 19th of July, 26th of July, 2nd of August, and 9th of August, 5 to 6:30 p.m. Every Sunday, we are going to have that program. So ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of self, on behalf of the entire ICSI, my team, people those are giving the back and the front support, on behalf of the president of the ICSI, on behalf of all my other fraternity, we extend and we convey our deep gratitude and thanks to DATO Ramesh Kodammal Ji, who is the co-chairman of ASEAN-India Business Council. And we are also grateful to all my brothers and sisters who joined from the different parts of the world. We are so grateful to you. And like any other Filmfare Award, let me put it across as an anchor. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put your hands together and give a standing ovation to DATO Ramesh Kodammal Ji. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I give you a standing ovation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.